Pisces Risings March 2023 is one of the most important months of the next few years, and it shows that your time to grow up and really get it together is starting, as well as some pretty sweet financial gains. If you are excited to dive into what we can exactly expect for you in your rising sign this March, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Hi, I'm Maren. I'm an astrologer, and in this video I'm using the tropical zodiac with whole sign houses, so no matter where your ascendant falls within your sign, this video applies to you. I have courses, daily horoscopes, and personal one-on-one live readings offered below, so if you want to learn with me, meet with me, or see any of my horoscopes, check out the links below, as well as know that I am hosting a retreat in Costa Rica at the beginning of June. So if you would like to join me in Costa Rica, feel free to check out that info below as well. So starting out the month from the 1st to the 2nd, Venus will conjoin Jupiter in your second house of finance and income. Venus and Jupiter are the two most positive planets possible, and with them in your second house of finance and income, looks like either you are receiving a promotion, a pay raise, or you are able to spend money in a way that feels very fulfilling on like a quality purchase. During this time, Mercury will conjoin Saturn in your 12th house of mental health and spirituality. Mercury, Saturn together shows very serious communication or insight. So it could be a time of getting news around your mental health that's very serious, not necessarily bad, but very serious, or you're having a very gotta get it together mental health breakthrough. Then on the 7th, the big day is here, which is that Saturn is entering your first house of self. Saturn will spend 3 years indicating challenge, maturity, and responsibility around your self-identity. And this will be most intense when Saturn crosses whatever your degree of Pisces rising is. So this will begin this March, but it will be the most intense at whatever degree your Pisces rising is, which you can find out through Googling your chart online and lining up when Saturn will be over that in a bi-wheel. But this will begin a transit of responsibility, maturity, and taking on more adulthood topics in your life. I had this transit a couple years ago because I'm a Capricorn rising. I was finishing college, I was starting TikTok and social media, and it was incredible. I had a ton on my plate, but it was a very okay, I'm gonna get it together, and that was when I began to support myself as a real adult, you could say as well. Then on the 7th as well, there's a Virgo full moon in your 7th house. Full moons are endings in times of chapters completing, and within in your 7th house of close relationships, it could either be just an eventful night in your relationship, or literally the chapter is ending around a certain relationship, not necessarily a romantic one. On the 12th, Jupiter will conjoin Chiron in your second house of income or spending. Jupiter grows, and Chiron is indicative of emotional, very triggered moments. So there could be the growth of something very emotional that involves money in your life that you could be either very thankful for, so you're like happy tears, or you are, dealing with feelings of scarcity and you're like, I need an abundance mindset. It's a time to open up about why you're emotional and heal that specifically in reference to finance and spending. From the 13th to the 14th, Mars in your 4th house is squaring Neptune in your 1st house. You have had Mars in your 4th house of family or home for the past 7 months, and this is the last straw transit around that. It's squaring Neptune in your 1st house, so there seems to be an inconsistency between your home life and your own communication or your behavior. This is the final time when things are not lining up. You will be pushing through this, because from the 15th to the 17th, the Sun, Mercury, Neptune, they are all in your 1st house squaring Mars in your 4th house. This is like the final last straw around you and your family being inconsistent around your goals, your whatever. The conflict between you and your family, you're like, okay, this is what's happening. We're done with this conflict. This is what we're moving on with. Then from the 16th to the 17th, Venus in your Aries 2nd house will be squaring Pluto in your Capricorn 11th house. So even as you're making more money, you could feel manipulated or like there's dishonesty from a friend or group of friends that you're a part of. So if you're tied to other people and you're discussing finances, you could feel manipulated or persuaded by them around something. Then on the 17th, Venus enters your Taurus 3rd house. So Venus being value and harmony in your 3rd house of writing, content, communication, looks like you could be writing or putting out something really beautiful. Looks like your routine and what you're creating definitely going well the second half of the month. Then on the 21st, there's a new moon in your Aries 2nd house of income and spending, completely in line with the rest of the month, which shows the growth of financial abundance and making money. On the 23rd, the other major transit of this year and the next 2 decades, starts, which is Pluto entering your Aquarius 12th house. The 12th house is mental health, spirituality, and our internal world, likely a challenging internal world. It's usually us dealing with our demons or our addictions, afflictions, etc. Pluto is a planet of transformation and of death and rebirth. And from March until the beginning of June, it will be a preview of Pluto's 20-year transit starting in 2024. So from March until June, it's a preview of the mental health transformation you will likely be going on throughout the next 20 years. Then on the 25th, Mars will finally be leaving your Gemini 4th house and entering your Cancer 5th house. So after quite a long time around family conflict, the conflict moves into creativity and dating for the next month. It's not as bad as it has been around family. On the 28th, Mercury will conjoin Jupiter in your 2nd house. Expect good news or really good news coming around money and income in your life. And on the 30th to the 31st, Venus will conjoin Uranus in your 3rd house. With the 3rd house being writing or communication and Venus-Uranus being disruptive value, suddenly something happens, look for out of the blue, maybe writer's block is resolved, or out of the blue you have a creative initiative that you want to put out into the world. On the 30th to the 31st, Mars in your 5th house will finally trine Saturn in your 1st house to end the month on a note of your creative effort or what you're working through with your partner really helping you mature and you grow up. That you're on the same page creatively and in your dating life, it's really helping you mature. If you already have any thoughts or comments around what's happening for you this month, do let me know down below. Would love to hear from you if anything stands out that you're predicting with your current plans. The Oracle deck card that we have for Pisces Risings this month is I listen to opposing opinions. So just a word to the wise that maybe with Saturn in the 1st house, it's around I'm gonna grow up, listen to opposing opinions. I'm not gonna just stay in my own world now. I'm personally a big proponent of that info. Not necessarily for Pisces specifically, but just in general, I'm open the fuck up with the echo chambers, please. If you enjoyed this, would appreciate a like and a subscribe. I know that most of you are not subscribed yet, which is interesting, so I wonder if this March you could do that for me, would be cool. Either way, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this or have anything to add around your personal astrology, and I will see you next month.
There is one thing